Thanks so much for joining us here on this Monday at noon. I'm Brooke Hash, joined by meteorologist Matt Breland. A very bitterly cold start to your work week. Matt, we were near zero today.
That's right, and we were feeling like zero too. I mean, these temperatures were temperatures that you usually see in the North Pole, so this was quite the wake up for us this Monday morning. And right now temperatures have made their way out of the single digits and returning into the teens and the 20s for us. So we're at 18 near Bowman Field, 19 Fern Creek, 20 here in downtown, 20 Iroquois Park over in southern Indiana. Still a bit chilly. 15 near Seymour, 19 near Madison, 23 Shepherdsville, and 21 for folks near Lebanon. As we head into the next upcoming hours, we will continue to still see a few occasional wind gusts, and so that will knock temperatures down, feeling like a bit cooler. So right now we're feeling like 12 degrees in Louisville, feeling like 19 in Hodgenville, feeling like 7 for folks there in LaGrange. So definitely a cold pattern still around with us, but you'll notice the sunshine still going to be present too. Some clouds tried flowing in from the north earlier, but they quickly broke apart as they made their way closer into Kentuckiana. We're going to continue staying under a very sunny trend as we go throughout the rest of our day, and that's going to help bring our temperatures into at least the lower 30s. So as we head into the middle of the afternoon, you can expect highs to range into the lower 30s. As we head later into tonight, we're back in the 20s, clear, quiet, dry. And we'll start tomorrow morning off with partly cloudy skies along with temperatures in the upper 20s. And as we head later on into our Tuesday afternoon, we will see those temperatures make their way back into the 40s. So we are going to be a bit warmer tomorrow. We are on track still to have the 4th snowiest December in a while from the Louisville Ali International Airport as of December 14th. 10.6 inches of snowfall has been recorded. So that definitely sets us on track to see one of the snowiest Decembers. That's a look at weather details now. We'll have more coming up in a few short minutes. Brooke.
All right, thanks, Matt. For the extreme cold like this, we know many of you have to be outside. Please make sure that outer layer is on. You can keep out the wind, the rain, and the snow with it as long as you've got 3 additional layers to trap in your body heat. Wear waterproof boots if you have them, and do not forget to throw on those gloves as well as a warm hat or a hood. A big development in a story we've been following for years now. The mother accused of killing her son and hiding his body in a suitcase in southern Indiana just pleaded not guilty in a Louisville courtroom this morning. A Jefferson County grand jury indicted 40-year-old Dejon Anderson on murder, manslaughter, criminal abuse, and abuse of a corpse. Investigators say she killed her 5-year-old son, Cairo Jordan, in Louisville and then dumped his body in rural Washington County, Indiana, back in 2022. A judge set Anderson's bail today at $500,000 cash. Her next court date is on January 27th at 10 a.m. LMPD and Indiana State Police arrested 3 people believed to be part of an organized car theft crew. On Sunday, detectives had been watching a car off Dixie Highway linked to thefts. When the officers attempted a traffic stop, the suspects fled. That chase involved LMPD's air and drone units and eventually the Indiana State Police when they crossed into Sellersburg. The suspects then stole a vehicle and headed back for Louisville before their arrest at a parking garage at 4th and Main. Parker Campbell, Jamari Kroom, and Caleb McLean are all facing several charges, including engaging in organized crime and theft. An investigator with Louisville's Office of the Inspector General has been charged with assault after a weekend shooting. It happened in the Heritage Creek neighborhood. 45-year-old Tracy Carter is accused of shooting her boyfriend in the arm on Friday night. According to her arrest citation, the two got into an argument, and as he was leaving in his car, Carter fired at the windshield and shot him when he got out. His injuries were not life-threatening. Carter's first worked for the Kentucky Department of Corrections as a parole officer before becoming an investigator for the OIG. She's charged with second-degree assault. A suspect is still on the loose in that mass shooting at Brown University. It left 2 people dead, 2 students dead, and 9 others injured. Police had detained a person of interest, but announced he was released over the weekend upon further investigation. ABC's Rena Roy is in Providence, Rhode Island.
Overnight, authorities in Providence releasing an individual who had been a person of interest in the deadly mass shooting at Brown University.
We understand that there is a high degree of anxiety, and after this individual was released last night, I understand that that anxiety level has risen in our community. We have an enhanced police presence to try to give that comfort, that sense of security.
Police scouring the area for the shooter as students barricaded themselves in rooms and hid behind furniture and bookshelves.
Providence Police! Hands!
The shooting happening during one of the busiest times of the school year as students were in the second day of final exams. One student telling ABC's Whit Johnson about the moment he heard the gunshots.
He immediately saw me and I immediately saw him. and then I look to my right and I see a bunch of students running down the stairs, running out the door, jumping on the ground, just whatever it takes to stay alive.
Across the campus, more than 400 law enforcement officers, including the FBI and ATF, swarming the scene. But they say the suspect had already fled through the side of the building complex.
I've been around long enough to know that sometimes you head in one direction and then you have to regroup and go in another. And that's exactly what has happened over the last 24 hours or so.
One of the victims killed has been identified by our church as Brown student Ella Cook from Birmingham, Alabama, where she was remembered.
For those of you who knew her, who know her, she was just incredibly grounded and generous and faithful and bright light.
On Sunday night, a Christmas tree and menorah lighting ceremony turning into a vigil for the grieving community at Brown.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Authorities are asking the public to scour their own photos and videos from that scene, saying there are not many cameras inside that building. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg, by the way, said one of his sons was on campus at the time of that shooting.
He and his roommates built some homemade furniture barricades and spent the night barricaded inside, as we all anxiously awaited for information, praying for safety, and looking for what today might bring.
Greenberg's son, Ben, is a junior at Brown who'd just gotten back to his dorm when that shooting began not far from his housing unit. He and his roommates stayed inside until the situation ended. None of them, fortunately, were physically hurt. Police are investigating after a deadly shooting in the Algonquin neighborhood. It happened Saturday on 10th Street, not far from Central Park. LMPD found a man dead inside of a car, shot multiple times. Their homicide unit is investigating. If you have any information, call that anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. A water main break made Cannons Lane look like a frozen river this morning. It happened near Seneca Park at Dayton Avenue. Louisville Water turned off the water to the area as those repairs begin. We'll let you know what happens there. Well, when temperatures plummeted this weekend, some Louisville ministries opened their doors to help people in need stay warm. Our Clary Shaley was there.
Unhoused people in need this season
It allows people to come off the street.
gather in Southeast Christian Church's gymnasium right off Dixie Highway.
God's blessed us, and I'm so grateful.
Just to let people feel like they matter and like we care about them.
Brought together amid Louisville's frigid temperatures outside. At some points, temperatures reached the single digits.
If it wasn't for this ministry, I probably wouldn't have made it now.
This morning, Exodus Family Ministries opened their doors.
Typically we don't operate on Sunday mornings, but this morning we sent 3 vans out and picked people up and brought them here.
Shane Schlater, the ministry's director, keeps care at the core. He says about 25 people had breakfast, a warm shower, and cleaned their clothes.
We had one gentleman today that more than likely has frostbite in his foot.
Schlater takes a deep breath.
Tonight we will be transporting a couple people to the hospital.
Knowing the ministry is trusted.
People have to be vulnerable enough to trust that you have their best interest at heart.
Exodus transports people to Southeast Christian's gym, where they continue to fellowship and find comfort.
Whether it was in the blistering heat or the freezing cold, they always had a space for me that I felt safe at, you know?
Their hearts are blessed, and their food served hot.
It's really not about the meal to me. It's about making family, being happy with the family.
People left with packed backpacks full of fresh items to keep them warm, and sent outside with wishes of a safe night. Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 on your side.
Also right now, applications for Louisville's extreme weather shelter permits are open. Those permits are required by the city. It said organizations should start the process as soon as possible. There are no application fees. The Coalition for the Homeless estimates there are about 1,800 people living on Louisville streets on any given night.